Hey, what's up? It's your dude Tank Lipp. We're gonna do a video blog, June something, 2015. Been, a good month since I done, an infamous Tank Lipp video blog. I took a hiatus from that and been into other things, attended to other business, you know, one of which has actually been, working on a new business of mine. So, learning some things with that about myself, you know, getting more interactive again with like other tasks instead of, being stuck on my self-observations and analysis, about life and like the dynamics, which is my interaction with life. For a good couple years been on, this microscope, inspecting the micro and macro layers and realms of things. And so some things have kind of like fallen in my lap, which have been, I figured and observed them as like a healthy distraction. So with it being more good as far as my perspective saw to, get distracted by something, I went with it, like in the nature of things. Like I went with the flow, instead of, maybe ignoring something that could have been a good thing and getting stuck on all the stuff that I've been like obsessively involved in and stuck in, which has been good for like a learning process, about life and myself and growing and learning, and all towards becoming a better person, being more good, a better version of myself. So that had been exhausting, but through it and those challenges, for the most part, I could say I was evolving for the better despite the exhaustion involved, which in a sense made me feel at times like I was in a worse place or getting worse. Thinking positive about it, we'll just say that I grew and learned more and became a better version. And kind of like, a sticking point in catch-22 to that is, like, what can you handle? And like, if you say to yourself, like, the ultimate saying expression, like, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle, then like it's all good and dandy, despite the challenges and the difficulty. And so like I kind of said that to myself, like, maybe this is all killing me, but maybe if it doesn't ultimately like literally kill me and I'm done and I'm dead, even though it's felt like, a dead man walking, like living in a death, like buried alive in a sense, like, for the challenges that have been these last couple years, maybe even more than a couple years, I've said to myself, like, if I'm not dead, if I'm not the living dead or some zombie show or some crazy shit like that, like just a man going through some bizarre challenges, but actually alive, not dead yet, maybe growing, learning, becoming better so that life doesn't feel like a death. So it could be positive again, like on some positive, like living your life shit instead of like, dying while you're living type stuff. And, so I said that to myself, that, I'm here, I'm talking, I can feel my hand, my skin, pinch my skin to see if I exist. Like I'm here, I'm existing in some realm of something. And so basically, what hasn't killed me has actually made me stronger, because I've learned a lot, and in those senses, become better, more good, a better version of myself. And so, but it's exhausting too. And kind of like you got to pace yourself. Like the more energy you use, maybe it's just less energy you're going to have the next day. So, there's a lot of back and forthness. You literally have to like pace yourself. And so, a theme of today, as again, I've taken a hiatus from the video blogs, is almost symbolic from like the fact that I have taken a break from using that microscope and analyzing the fuck out of things as I had been doing. Now, the nature of my personality, even though I've allowed myself to get distracted from that intensity of like everyday classes in session, even though I'm not in class, I could just be sitting on this couch right here. But it felt like classes in session, like lesson after lesson. I'm learning, my mind's going, I'm racing. Part of my own illness is my mind racing, but then I gotta let my mind race just to, you know, absorb all this information, learn the information, like, and then let it be transcendent and let myself become better. And so, you know, even when I allow myself to get distracted with some other things that seem good, you know, I'm still learning. Even as I take a break from the microscope of which I was viewing everything, there's still this like innate microscope where everything I do, even if it's some new business I get distracted with, you know, I'm inspecting that with the microscope. And still, lessons, just one after the other, learning more and more. It's just like, you know, can I handle this at like a certain point? Like, when you learn so much information and so much truth, and then it becomes your truth, and then it like almost is so much, and you've been so absorbed in it, it just, that truth like becomes you. Like, you're just like a different person and shit, and like, can you handle like that much layers of deepness and truth? Or do you get shook? Like a nervous wreck or some shit, you know, breaking down, like the truth starts to break you down, you decompose and shit, or does it build you? And so obviously if I just accept, like, this is just the nature of my life, my personality, and the nature of things as it correlates to my life, that no matter what I do, I can't seem to stray from it being this like intense learning process. You know, I want it to be more of a good thing, so, but it can't be a pure good thing if then all that information breaks me down, so I'm trying to pace. And so I let myself get distracted. You know, it's been like a month since a video blog. And it's been a month since that like kind of intense classes and session type thing. But again, still learning. So I've just like come to this overall, you know, conclusion that I gotta, you know, if I accept God's given me, you know, nothing that I can't handle, I gotta handle it. And that means that incorporates managing it in a way that's manageable and that you can handle it. So you can keep composure. You can stay calm through the intensity, which way if you're not evolved and developed, it could shake you up. And I want to be a cool, calm cat. You know? Just like that. On some rhyming shit, you know? You know, I want to be that nervous wreck, you know, where anyone and anything can like work your nerve, and you know, it kind of undoes, like if you learn all this information but then you out of control, you like this undesirable, like you undesirable to yourself, let alone other people. If you just like, as you pacing, you know, you actually pacing back and forth, like someone looking at you from an aerial view, it's like, yo, what's going on with this cat? Like all this back and forthness, he literally moving back and forth. Like, is he digesting all the information? Is it like digesting him? And so, you know, a theme of literally today, June, whatever this is, 2015, like I'm thinking, like a theme for my environment, like my coordination, like literally coordinates, like how I'm fitting in my environment. If I like to do like a little small little quote for y'all, I might say something like, you know, for a person that's out of place, doesn't fit. If they're out of place, right? They're not fitting into something. And is it because, and can they not get fit? Meaning like how they adapt and survive in their environment. Is it almost a dead end road? Like if they're out of place and they don't fit, no matter what they do, like, can they get fit and in shape in a way to survive and adapt and have the stamina for an environment that they don't fit in and that they're out of place? Like, is that possible? And then the questions seem to pop up. Like, you know, basically, you know, what do you do at that point when no matter what you do, like, whatever you do to get in shape, to get fit, like, is it that dead end road? So I'm gonna hit y'all with some more stuff about this in part 2 of this blog, and just let that marinate for a moment, and we'll come up with some more questions for you. Tank Lipp. There's a Tank Lipp Show 2015.